For those of you who are just joining us, feel free to put your name in the chat and where you're from. But yeah, thank you for joining me on the third or the last night of our Tribal College Fair, Tribal College and University Fair. And yeah, we have quite a schedule ahead of us. We have Nebraska Indian Community College, we have College of Menominee Nation, College of Muscogee Nation, Little Bighorn College. And to end the night, we do have a TCU student panel. So we have three of our student ambassadors who will be joining us later this afternoon. And we'll just be hearing from them and their choice to go to TCU, what their experience was like, highlighting the awesome things that they're doing at their school within their field. And yeah, it'll be a great time. And there might even be some time in our schedule where we might do a quick 5-minute break. That'll probably be after all of our TCU presentations. So definitely keep an eye out. You will have an opportunity to stretch your legs because we have a 2-hour schedule today. But yeah, like I said, if you have any questions throughout this afternoon, please feel free to use the chat, the Q&A function. And yeah, thank you all for joining us. So I will go ahead and pass it over to Nebraska Indian Community College, who will be sharing first about their school and highlighting their programs and services. Thank you so much, Chrissy.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting us to share about our tribal college and opportunities for students. Great. So you can probably see it says Nebraska Indian Community College. But so just to first introduce myself, my name is Chrissy Lesher, and I'm the Dean of Enrollment Management at Nebraska Indian Community College. Um, Nebraska Indian Community College is located in Nebraska. We have three campuses in three different locations. Um, in Macy and in Santee, which is where our chartering tribes originate for NICC. And then additionally, we have an urban site in South Sioux City. So I've been with Nebraska Indian Community College for a little over 4 years, working as an instructor, as an instructional designer, and as the Dean of Enrollment Management. And just really love getting to know the students and working closely with them to help them build their plans out. Like this is a very exciting time for all of you as you're making plans for yourself about what's next in your future. And I think that it's exciting that you get to take a peek into what tribal colleges have to offer you as a student so that you can consider your own goals and where you'd like to be located and what services are provided and what academic program, certificate, or degree you're attempting to pursue. I am an enrolled member of the Cherokee Nation and also descend from the Muscogee people. So I'm going to go ahead. I will just say, hopefully you can see my screen. Um, and on the front is a picture. You can see um, students and staff members dressed in white shirts with the buffalo on the front. This was a student design for the t-shirt that everyone's wearing. And in this picture, we have students, staff, and coaches and supporters who are cheering on a hand games match, if you will. And this is at attendance in Rapid City, South Dakota, and that was in March of 2026. Um, AHEC, which is the American Indian Higher Education Consortium, organizes a student conference every year in March for the TCUs. So it's an incredible event to be a part of, and I hope that no matter what TCU you become a part of, that you'll ask your advisors and your instructors, um, how can I be a part of the AHEC Student Conference? They have different competitions. One of them is a hand games competition. That's an incredible space to be in during that time. There's a lot of enthusiasm, and excitement and energy. It's really even hard to explain. But there's usually 10 pits. You can see that we're surrounded by lots of people here, and this is just one of the competitions that happens at the AHEC Student Conference. So they have other competitions like archery and art exhibits, ranging from digital art to beadwork. Um, Painting and drawing. Then they have some team competitions, like Knowledge Bowl, and also Science Bowl, and science presentations, poster presentations, speeches. So it's really an incredible event where 1,000+ students and staff members get together and converge upon a city. This March of 2026 will be Bismarck, and compete against each other. It's really an incredible event. So that's just something that NICC, because we're a member, gets to be a part of. But all of the TCUs who are members of AHEC also send their students to compete. If at any time you can't see my screen or we're not looking at the same screen, if somebody could just let me know, I would greatly appreciate it. So, the mission at Nebraska Indian Community College is to provide quality higher education and lifelong educational opportunities for the Omaha and Isanti and all learners. Our total fall enrollment this last year was lucky number 777. We're incredibly excited about the number of students who are taking an interest in being a part of our college. And here we just share some basic statistics of our students and their the extraordinary abilities that they bring to Nebraska Indian Community College. Um, our student group of the 777 is typically made up of three different groups. Some lifelong learners who are just taking a class to take a class. Another group are dual credit or early college students. And then the other group are degree seeking students. So as I'll talk about more, we have the opportunity for students to just work on a shorter credential, like a certificate in a specific area, and or an associate's degree, which is closer to a 2 or 3 year degree. And then finally, 2 years ago, we added a Bachelor's of Arts program in business and tribal nation building. And then this fall, we added a second bachelor's program, a Bachelor of Science in Indigenous Environmental Health. We are currently in the thick of preparing for spring, which I'm sure all of the other tribal colleges will talk about too. So we do have a spring course available with 170 courses. Many of our courses are either fully online or virtual, with just a few at each campus that are in person. The demand has been from students to be more accessible, especially after COVID, and we've listened to that. So many students are able to complete their degrees on their time when they have time available, because we know that our students have lots of responsibilities at home with either children or loved ones that they're caring for. And additionally, many of our students work. So having something convenient and accessible like online or virtual classes is very important to our students. Um, an online class would be mainly a self-discipline class where the student is working through curriculum. They do have an instructor, but they're working through our learning management system, which is called Canvas. Maybe some of you have actually taken a class on Canvas, or even your K-12 system used Canvas. A virtual class would be meeting at a certain day and time on Teams as a group. So you're in a virtual classroom. and then in person would be at one of our three campuses that I talked about at either Macy or Santee or South Sioux City. As I was saying, we do have the two bachelor degrees, a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration and Tribal Nation Building, and a Bachelor of Science degree in Indigenous Environmental Health, and that's brand new. So we're really excited about that. I also have 9 associate degrees and 12 certificates, and we'll look a little closer at that on the next few slides. Um, and then you can see off to the side where we do currently have a rate of $1 per credit hour. So for a 3 credit class, your cost would be $3. And that is currently approved through spring of 2026. So here you can see some of the associate programs and certificates we have available. And just to be clear too, when we're talking about the certificates, it's a shorter credential, sometimes ranging between 17 credits and 24 credits. So it's not the full associate's program, which is typically 60 to 64 credits. And keeping in mind, a 3 credit class is typical. So one class is usually 3 credits. So you could finish a certificate in a semester or certainly two for sure. And we've set it up so that all of our certificate programs are stackable credentials, which means if I were to get a business administration certificate and complete that successfully, that certificate and all of the classes that I took would fit into the associate's business administration program. So none of those credits would be lost, and then I could continue on and complete my associate's degree. Even after completing my associate's degree in business administration, I could then go on to complete a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration and Tribal Nation Building. So we've tried to set it up so that you're not losing any credits when you go from a certificate and directly into that associate program. You can see here our associate degrees are in Native American Studies. Maybe you're unsure of what degree or program you want to work on. So you might start in general liberal arts, which means you can be trying out lots of different areas and then formulating a plan. In business administration, or business with an emphasis in entrepreneurship. General science studies degree, an early childhood education degree, a paraeducator degree. These are all associate or 2-year programs. A human services degree, and that has two different emphasis areas. One of them is specifically in community counseling, and the other emphasis area, potentially in human services, is alcohol and drug counseling. And then finally, I should also mention we do have a new industrial trades associates program that started this fall, plus carpentry. As I was saying, with our bachelor degrees, we do have 2 4-year degrees. In order to be eligible for those programs, you first have to have an associate's degree. So completing either the general science studies degree first, and then moving on to the Indigenous Environmental Health BS program. Or you would complete the business administration associates program, and then you could move on to a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration. But we're really excited about being able to offer bachelor degrees for our students. And we might not have the bachelor degree program you were looking for, but you could certainly get your start here at NICC in a certificate or an associate's program. And then we could help you look at what some of your options are if there's another program you're looking at transferring to. Some of you may already be current college students also and looking at transferring to NICC. And we certainly have lots of options up here in regards to starting at NICC and then moving on to some of our other academic partners to complete a bachelor's program in an area we just don't have at this time. We are accredited with the Higher Learning Commission and also, as I said, a member of the American Indian Higher Education Consortium and also work closely with the American Indian College Fund. So here you can see the certificate programs I was talking about, which is that shorter credential that can usually be completed in a semester, possibly two, so that you have some education beyond high school or beyond a GED. And that can be invaluable for pay raises or getting into a specific job market that you're looking to move into, or just getting some basic knowledge in a specific area without completing the associate's or bachelor program. So for example, like with the business administration certificate, that's 17 credits. So that's roughly 5 or 6 classes to complete that certificate here at NICC. And then here are some of the other options. And as I said, um, all of these build into our associate programs so that any classes you're completing in the certificate program can move directly into the aligned associate degree program. As I was mentioning, we do have the new Bachelor of Science program. It's been a an exciting time, and there's been a lot of planning the last several years to bring something like this to NICC. And really, the whole point is to connect public health and environmental science through an Indigenous lens. Many of the classes are online or virtual. And some lab needing to be completed too, either online or on campus. We do try to accommodate students. We have a growing number of students who are basically online students and are able to complete most of their degree, if not all of their degree, online. This is a picture of some staff members. Actually, I think I'm back here. We're in one of our greenhouses. We have a greenhouse. This is at the Macy campus. And then we also have another beautiful greenhouse at the Santee campus. I will say when I'm talking about the campus that they're academic classrooms and staff offices or instructor offices and classrooms. NICC does not have dormitories available for students. And then this was the second Associate of Applied Science degree that we were able to add this fall. We were finding that students were interested in carpentry, but also welding, but also electrical type engineering or science. And so, how could we bring that together in a degree that would sort of give everybody the opportunity to work in multiple areas so that they were able to get a job in multiple different venues. Um, so, for example, it talks about a couple of the classes here. One is a Construction 100 safety course, and then some other select courses that could be picked to kind of curate or create a industrial trades associate of applied science. This program specifically would be having some of the classes online or virtual, but obviously the majority of them would need to be happening on campus at one of our campuses because of all the equipment, right? And the ability to actually try and build and make things. We do have another certificate program that's called Teaching Indigenous Learners. Since we're a community college, we're always checking into the needs of our communities and seeing what sorts of degrees or programs they'd like to see the college offer the community. And this was certainly a certificate that came up as a need and of huge interest, especially to K-12 and pre-K systems that we're looking to have a little bit more knowledge in a specific area. And so you can see here some of the classes that we ask the students to complete in order to receive a Teaching Indigenous Learners certificate. And this stacks directly into the NIC's paraeducator pre-teacher associate's degree. And for those that complete that, we do have an arrangement with Haskell where they can complete their Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education. So we do have quite a few agreements and collaborations in place with other TCUs. Some of the student activities, as I was discussing, I talked a little bit about AHEC, the student conference that is organized by AHEC for tribal college students. There's usually preparation and planning that happens at each of the TCUs every year in certain areas and a selection process. And then students are invited to compete at a location. We also have ABLE, or the American Indigenous Business Leaders Group on campus, that does have a focus on business interests or business students, but the group is open to all learners in all majors. There are internship opportunities for students in the sciences. And with other institutions, I know we have something in the works right now for students to do a summer internship in Oklahoma at Oklahoma State over the summer, specifically focusing on an area of science. We do have some archival and genealogy classes that do happen to creep into our schedules for each term. And additionally, there's an apprenticeship that happens, and that's typically at the Macy campus in Macy, Nebraska. We offer campus events, community workshops where it's not for credit, but you might attend a workshop um, over a series of nights or for an evening where you're, you know, um, making some moccasins or creating a ribbon skirt and those sorts of things. Of course, research projects. And then we have a student showcase at the end of every semester. This is done virtually, where students and instructors share out the good work that had been happening in the classrooms over the semester. And a lot of learning happens, at least for me, when I attend that event. Some of the student supports that you might be thinking about, or maybe you haven't thought much about, is how can the college work to support me, especially if I'm not on campus? We do have a relationship with Morningstar Counseling where students can have access to free counseling, and we do offer some. It's not group counseling, but it's more presentations about healthy strategies and coping skills to sort of deal with stress or relationships that happen throughout the semester. We have an educational access team that can work with students who maybe in high school um, were on an IEP or struggle with some sort of disability, either short term or long term, and are needing extra assistance. We do also have a current online tutoring partner, which is called Pear Deck. That's available to students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's also a writing lab in that online tutoring system that allows students to submit their papers and get some feedback from another peer reviewer about things they might consider changing or adjusting in their paper. We have student orientations at the beginning of every semester and skill development workshops that happen sprinkled throughout the semester too, and those are typically virtual. And then for students who are pursuing a degree and have all of their student documents in for the admissions process and are taking 3 or more credits a semester, which would be a class or more, will receive a laptop. And then the internet service has more to do with students who are in the area of either Macy or Santee. So the cost of attendance, as I said, is $1 per credit hour. It would normally be uh, $170 per credit hour. Um, and textbooks are also included in your costs. And then, as I was talking about the one-to-one technology, you might also be eligible for. And then, if in certain service areas, you might have access to discounted internet support and or Wi-Fi. And everyone is eligible for the $1 per credit hour promo. Once you get near graduation, there's a $200 graduation fee. This is a basic yearly cost assessment of attendance, which has more to do with including housing, including transportation, and those sorts of things. But for us, textbooks are included, technology is included, the laptop, and you pay at this time $1 per credit hour. There's also opportunities to apply for scholarships like the Full Circle through the American Indian College Fund, work study opportunities on campus, and other internships potentially over the summer or throughout the year, more specifically on campus. So if you're interested, if you're a senior in high school or you're a transfer student, really the first thing you should be doing is getting your application into NICC. And you can do that by scanning the QR code that I'm showing you, or you can go to our website, which is at www.thenicc.edu. Some of the documents we might need from you after you apply online, if you're on our website, if you look into the upper right-hand corner, there's an apply button. But we'll eventually need a copy of your tribal ID or proof of enrollment if that's applicable to you. We'll also need you to request your official high school or GED transcripts and have those directly sent to Nebraska Indian Community College for review. And then if you're a student who's looking at completing a degree and will be taking classes towards a degree, you should look at completing your FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. And we have a financial aid code that's shown here, 015339. And then, of course, you should complete the American Indian College Fund scholarship application also. So again, I just want to thank everybody. I hope you could see my screen okay. I'm not as used to Zoom as I am to Teams, but we'd love to have you, reach out to us and ask some questions or get your application in if you're looking at starting in spring of 2026, or just seeking information now. Because you're looking down the road about what might be next for you. Again, we offer several online and virtual classes with some in-person classes on our campuses located in Macy, Santee, and South Sioux City, Nebraska. If you're thinking about taking a class or classes with us for spring, our registration is open now. So anything you can be doing to be getting in your application and documents before winter break is going to be helpful to you and to us, with classes starting January 20th. Here are some of our other contacts for you. There's my address and my phone number. If there's any other questions I can help you answer, I'd be happy to do that. We also have, if you're looking at the bachelor's program in science, the Indigenous Health program, you'd call Denton. If you're looking at the bachelor program, in business, you'd call Paris. Um, And then we have our campus employees too. If you reach out to any of us, we'll do our best to answer your questions and make sure that you get to the right people. Again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And um, I'm excited to hear more too from some of the other colleges tonight as you're all making plans for your future. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chrissy. It looks like we have two questions in the chat for you. Yeah, one from Kelly is the $1 credit hour for anyone, for any enrolled tribal member, or just for your state regional enrolled tribal members?
The $1 per credit hour is for everyone. And I believe that's been approved through spring, and there'll be a process where it's reviewed, and then hopefully, I can't say, but then would it be approved for the next year? But it's been for this full school year, summer, fall, and spring, that it's $1 per credit hour. Good question.
The next question, are there any programs that are online only?
I think it's possible to complete the majority of our programs online. The only one that might not work as well could potentially be the Bachelor of Science program, only because I know some labs need to happen. And so and it's a brand new program, so we're figuring out a lot of things right now too. With we're, you know, 10, 11 weeks into our first semester. But all of the other programs, besides that program, where I would have questions that I would want to look into about lab work, especially in your junior and senior year. And then additionally, the industrial trades degree. It would be difficult for you to be doing welding, for example, without being here on our campus to do those more applied science programs.
Thank you so much, Chrissy. It was great learning about your school and your programs, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you at AHIC. Thank you all, and we will go ahead and move forward with the College of Menominee Nation. I will go ahead and pass it to Lorenzo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That cost of attendance promo sounds like a great opportunity. So hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. My name is Lorenzo Warrington. I'm an enrolled Menominee Nation tribal member. I've been employed at the College of Menominee Nation for 2 years. Next week is actually my 2 year mark, so I'm pretty close to the 2 years. I've been a student here since 2017. I'm currently, so I have a liberal studies and social science degree, an associate's degree, and I'm currently pursuing my business and administration degree as well, which I will obtain in next May. So um, I'm really honored to be here representing the College of Menominee Nation at this year's TCU Virtual College Fair. So first, I want to thank the College Fund for inviting us and for creating this space where colleges work toward the same purpose, which is basically supporting, uplifting Native students, families, and communities. Choosing a college is a big step, especially if you're in high school. And events like this make it a little easier to see what's out there and what feels right for you. So today I'll be giving you a quick look at College of Menominee Nation's academic programs, the support we provide for students, and what it's really like to be part of the College of Menominee Nation's community. My goal today is simple. It's to help you see that college can be for you and that there is a place where you belong and that tribal college universities like ours are here to help you succeed, not just in school, but in your life, your career, and your community. So with that, let's get started. And again, thank you all for being here. I'm excited to share the College of Menominee Nation with you. So I'll be going over a general overview of the College of Menominee Nation, and then I'm going to touch on our learner program as well. So I'll be kind of switching over from this presentation over to the other one. So the College of Menominee Nation, we're located in Wisconsin. We have two campuses, the Kashina campus and Green Bay campus. So Kashina is more of a rural area, and Green Bay is more of a urban area. So we're trying to kind of balance it and touch both aspects of Wisconsin area. We do not have dorms, so everything is you got to travel to campus to go to the courses, which brings us to our next slide here. So the basic question is, what is the College of Menominee? Well, the Tribal College of Menominee is a tribal college university, one of 37 in the nation. I know the previous presentation kind of touched on that a little bit. So we're one of two in Wisconsin. The other one in Wisconsin is Lakudare Ojibwe University. So the College of Menominee offers a variety of degree programs designed for community members and local businesses. And so basically what that means is our programs are tailored for local needs and kind of like the local region. So if you look at our public administration degree, if you're interested in tribal government or tribal administration, public administration would be a perfect one for you. And then the other example I like to use is natural resources. So if you look at the Menominee our Menominee County in Wisconsin, you can actually see the county shaped like an L, and you can actually see the forest from space, which is pretty crazy. You can see it from satellite imaging. It's shaped exactly like the county. So the other one, so the program designed for our forest and forest management will be natural resources. So long story short is our degree programs are designed for community members and local needs. Um, we do offer resources of large university with a small campus environment. So basically, what that means is, like for instance, we have internships available. A lot of times you go to these bigger universities and you're competing against hundreds, maybe even thousands of other students in the university, and sometimes these internships aren't even paid. So at CMN we offer internships that are actually paid, and you're not competing against so many other students. So in that case, we like to say that we offer resources of a large university with a small campus environment. And all people from everywhere are welcome, but you must be a resident of Wisconsin. CMED does not currently take international or out-of-state students. So, which brings us to our programs of study. So, CMN, we offer technical diplomas, associate's degrees, and bachelor's degrees. So, our technical degrees are typically 1 year, so two full-time semesters, ideally. Some of the more popular ones that we have in the area is electricity, welding, and sustainable residential building, which brings us to our associate's degrees. So we got and these ones are typically 2 years, so biological and physical science degrees. That one's a nice one because if you want a pathways to nursing, we actually have a partnership with Bellin College to so you can receive your associates here in biological and physical science, and then move over to the nursing program at Bellin, which they have guaranteed spots for the College of Nomination students. Business administration is a big one. I'm currently in business, and let me tell you, it is a tough program, but it gives you all the necessary skills and concepts you need to be successful in the business world. Another popular one is early childhood education. We recently received I think it's like a $1.2 million grant for that. So our education program is it's going to be good, and right now is a good time to get into it. I mentioned natural resources and public administration before, and we also have a substance abuse counseling program, which leads us to our bachelor's program. So our bachelor's programs kind of stem from our associate's programs. So if you get an associate's in business or education, you can move on to the bachelor's degree. Those are typically 4 years. So next slide here, why enroll at the College of Nomination? So this is a really good statistic. I like to tell most people, even when I'm out at recruitment events, 93% of college nomination students graduate with no debt, which is a pretty high number. So back when the College Nomination was chartered in 1993 by the Menominee people and the president, they knew that student debt was a huge issue in America. So basically, I'm not sure how they did it, but they set the system up to where majority of our students graduate debt free. And I think largely the Pell Grant pays for it for tuition, from what I understand. Classes and degrees help you reach your personal goals. So, I think personally, the College of Nomination has always been a huge investment for me because, it's like delayed gratification that paid off later, right? CMN, once I graduated in 2021 with my liberal studies and social science degree, My life has just done a 360 and it's been a lot better financially. And CMEN also offers a lot of great opportunities. So really, these classes and degrees help you grow as a person and they help you reach your personal goals, whether you want to do business, travel, anything you like, whatever your goals, it's all up to you, really. There's opportunities for scholarships, internships, and travel. So one of the main scholarships we like to encourage students to apply for is the American Indian College Fund. And then we also offer privately funded scholarships for private donors in the area. Some of the internships we offer, so we have a Sustainable Development Institute, which is basically our research arm of the College of Nomination, and they offer internships there, which are research based. Which is pretty cool. And that's how I started myself here at the college is through internships. And I basically started there, kind of got my roots in and got to know people and networked. And yeah, you never know who you're going to run into. This place, I feel like this place is a place of growth and opportunity. Um, we also have internships offered through our career placement coordinator. And what she does is she goes into, the region and look at different organizations and she'll set up internships in different, like either tribal organizations or organizations in the area so students can get hands-on experience in whether it's business, solar panel installation, different things like that. So it's kind of a broad range, which is pretty good because especially if you're in high school and you're still trying to build your resume, these internships are a great opportunity to build your resume, but also gain experience in the workforce. Um, as I said, there's opportunities for travel. So I know in the previous presentation they talked about the American Indian Higher Education Consortium. So we also send students there to compete against the other tribal colleges. And let me tell you guys, I went in Minneapolis a few years ago. I think my first year here, I went, and it was real cool to see, different nations all in one spot. Like it's all like we're all family. We all look the same, we all talk the same, and we all have the same humor. So I thought it was a great experience. Small classes mean you're developing relationships with faculty and other students. So a lot of times, I see students go travel out to big universities and end up coming back, and a lot of times it's because the relationships, So basically, here at CMN, because of the small classes, you can develop these relationships, especially with your professor. I went to UW-Madison my first year of college, and I was in a chemistry course, and I did not speak to my professor once besides asking him a question, because the lecture hall was 400 students. So these small classes mean you can actually develop relationships with faculty and other students, and yeah, it's very nice. So what can you expect at the College of Nomination? Well, you can expect support from faculty and staff. So some of the things we offer here is tutoring and career services. So our tutoring program has gotten really good in the past year or two. Right now, we actually have professional tutors on campus to help students, and they're mainly focused towards English and math courses. But they do touch on other things like business as well. Career services. So a lot of times I tell students like, hey, say you're getting close to graduation, you don't have direction or you don't know what to do next. Well, career services can help you with interview prep, job applications, build your resume. So that's what that is there for. So our ratio is actually 1 to 4. So that means one faculty member to 4 students. So typically that's kind of towards the end of your emphasis courses in your program. So in the beginning, when you're doing your introductory courses like college English or college algebra, you're going to have about maybe 20 to 25 students. But as you get through your program, it starts kind of like dwindling down and you start seeing the same students. And it's cool because it's almost like a cohort at that point, and you start forming relationships with those students. It was interesting because I personally was taking a calculus class and I was working with another student next to me. And didn't think nothing of it. And then come to find out 2 years later, she was teaching me one of my business courses. So that small ratio, you never know who you're sitting next to. You could be sitting next to the next tribal leader. You never know. It's always a place of networking and growth. We do offer 15-week courses. We did have 16-week courses, but due to our kind of local area, we matched the schedule with the schools here in the districts for like Kashina Primary School, for instance. So you can choose your schedule. So if you work in the morning times, you can take evening classes. If you work in the evening times, or in the morning times, you take evening classes. Another thing too is you will meet new people every semester. So as I said before, I was in calculus class with this one lady, and she ended up being my professor a few years later. So we do offer wellness support as well. So back in 2020, when COVID happened, we knew that there might be a trickle effect with mental health issues, and so we created a position here, a director of wellness support, and to help with that concern. She does events, for instance. Last June, she did a men's mental health month, our workshop, and we had a men's talking circle, and we did fishing spinners, and it was pretty cool because a lot of these guys never had a talking circle like that, and just where it was all men just talking and kind of just explaining what it is to be a man, and and you could tell that these guys were actually really relieved afterwards because they'd never been in a setting like that before. So that's something that she did in June, and which is pretty sweet. We also have wellness pods as well. So I always tell students, say it's midterms, high stress levels, you can go into our wellness pods to kind of just meditate or ground yourself. I personally use them around 1 to 2 o'clock after I eat because I seem to hit a mental fatigue or a mental wall. So I'll go into the wellness pods for 10 minutes and just meditate for a little bit. We also offer on-site counseling. So, you can reach out to, as a student, staff, or faculty member, you can reach out to our on-site counselor, schedule a time, and have a counseling session with them just to help you throughout the semester if you need it. And attendance is important. So we did a data gallery walk, I think a few months back, and we did it on attendance, and it showed that the more a student attended class, the more successful they were, especially throughout their education. So attendance is very important. So one of the things we did recently are online courses. So I think not this previous spring, but the spring before we launched the online courses. The online courses are asynchronous, so it means you're not required to meet at a scheduled time, but there are due dates, weekly due dates. So, and I always tell students too, like, if you're doing online courses, make sure you're good at reading, and you read at least an hour a day. That will help you succeed because a lot of our online courses is a lot of reading. So, yep. So, and they can complete the assignments when they're convenient for them. They might have work during the week and only have the weekends. Well, they can tune in Saturday and just as long as they turn in their assignment during the due date. So some of the online courses that we offered in the spring of 2025, so earlier this year, is Introduction to Oral Communications, Introduction to College English, Student Success Strategies, and Introduction to Sustainable Development. Which brings us to our admissions requirements. So if you are interested in the college nomination and a Wisconsin resident, you must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. You must be a high school graduate or have a general education diploma or a high school equivalency diploma. It's open to all in-state residents, and as I said earlier, CMAN does not currently accept international students. So the application process. So the first step would just be go online, to our website, www.menominee.edu, apply online. Once you're applied online, the next step is our admissions documents. So we do need a tribal enrollment card or a certificate of Indian blood. If applicable, you do not need to be a tribal member to enroll at the College of Nomination. We also need official high school transcripts, and they must be in a sealed envelope or we cannot accept them. If you are a transfer student, we do need official college transcripts as well. And then one of the things that the College of Nomination does too is the AccuPlacer. So it measures reading, writing, and arithmetic, and it just helps us place the students in the right class. A lot of our classes, the English and college or college algebra, our students struggle in. So we actually have a class, two classes where we split it down to break it down a little, so it's a little bit easier for the students. And depending on where the student, scores, we'll place them based off that. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. So, and then once you're accepted and received your acceptance letters, the next step is to register for classes. So you can meet with one of our academic success coaches, and they'll help you register for your class. As I said, if you work in the morning times, you can choose evening classes if you want. If you work in the evening times, you can do morning classes. So for our spring semester of 2026, here's a few of our classes that we're offering. This isn't all of them. This is just I just kind of did a snapshot of some of the business courses that we offer. I'll actually be in that Business 300 class, Project Management 2. I'm excited for that one. Here's a little bit of our student services. Yeah, if you guys want to reach out to any of us, here goes our student services here. And then, so I'll go jump into the next one quick. And then, can you guys see that one too?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to jump into our next one, which is our Learn and Earn program. So, what is the Learn and Earn program? So, the Learn and Earn program is actually a program that we offer at the College of Nation to high school juniors and seniors that want to take college credit. And it's pretty sweet because it's at no cost to them or their family. And participants who enroll at the College of Nation can take 3 credit class per semester. So, all students from local high schools in Wisconsin are welcome for that. So why participate in the Learn and Earn program? Well, the biggest thing is it's at no cost to you. You can earn college credits before you graduate from high school. I took Learn and Earn program and a few credits when I was in high school. I took college algebra and then college English, and it helped me gain 6 credits, and I didn't have to take college English or algebra when I went to UW-Madison, which was pretty sweet. As I said earlier, 93% of our students graduate with no debt. So this really just gives you a head start, to get a little bit of experience in college, but also, not having to pay for some of the higher courses, especially if you want to transfer to a bigger university. College credits count towards your high school graduation, or they could count towards your graduation, whether and it depends on the school. The school might take dual credits. So if you're taking college English here, you might be able to knock out some credits in English for high school. And there's opportunities for cultural events and fostering professional relationships. So this will be our last slide. But basically, how much? So here's a budget breakdown. How much could it save you if you're taking the program? Well, at the College of Nation, it's $250 per credit, and most classes are about 3 to 4 credits. So including student fees, which is $100, and books on average are about 200, could be more. So that's about 1050 a semester. So if you participate in all 7 semesters, you could save about $7,350. And it's a lot of money. I personally do not have that laying around. So yeah, with that, that will conclude my presentation. And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Lorenzo. I think there might have been one question in the chat. It was about the substance abuse counselor program and if it's online.
So right now, we are doing only introductory courses online because we did launch it not this previous spring, but the spring before that. So right now, it's kind of like we're working out the kinks and slowly expanding as the online courses get better.
Awesome. We will next move on to our third TCU, College of Muscogee Nation, and I will pass it off to Thomas. Thank you very much for being here.
All right, perfect. So it's going to be a little bit confusing because I'm also College of the Muscogee Nation, so I'm also CMN. But it's all right. I got to hang out with the other CMN group at the Last Falcon conference here recently, and that was fantastic. It's always fun getting to poke fun of them about who's the real CMN, and of course, I am. Um, So we're preserving the past and cultivating futures. We're actually located in Muscogee, Oklahoma. So who are we? We're the College of the Muscogee Nation, and we're Oklahoma's premier tribal college. We're a public institution, so you don't have to be Native American to come here. But if you are from a federally recognized tribe, we give you a $3,500 tuition waiver right off the top. All you have to do for that tuition waiver, there's no extra paperwork you have to sign. It's just fill out and give us your tribal ID, a copy of it, and then we'll automatically go ahead and apply your tuition waiver to it. We actually have a special scholarship for our Muscogee Creek citizens. We actually pay the remaining balance at the end of the semester. It's a special scholarship for them. So they do have to make all the requirements. They have to go to class. They have to maintain a full schedule of 12 credit hours. Grades have to be kept. Everything has to be according. But if they do everything that a good college student should do, they'll get it leave debt free. I'm actually a graduate from this college. I graduated from here with my tribal services, which is basically our word for business. So I went and got my associates here, and then I went to Haskell Indian Nations where I got my bachelor's. I actually graduated debt free from both schools, which was fantastic. I actually made money going to school between scholarships and working in internships and work study positions. So and we are the only one here in Oklahoma, so come check us out. Currently, most of our classes are pretty much going to be in person, but we do have our Muscogee Creek language certificate that you can take online. And you can, we have students all over the world that come take it. This last year, we had students from Canada. I think we had some from Germany taking our classes, Spain. So we're starting to see more of an international for that class. But unfortunately, that's the only class that we're going to offer for a virtual or online at this time. We're only 21 years old, so we're still a relatively new school. We were started in 2004. So what do we offer? We're going to offer your associate's degrees here. Currently, we are only a 2-year institution. We are making progress right now as we keep growing our campus to make that 4-year institution. We're currently growing our faculty and our classroom sizes so we can support a 4-year institution here on campus. But with this, we have 6 different associate's degrees that you can choose from. Criminal justice is probably one of our most biggest ones that we're seeing coming in. Students are getting in, especially with McGirt here coming in through Oklahoma. We're seeing a lot of students wanting to get into law enforcement, legal studies, tribal justice. And then we're seeing students go into, attorney generals, city attorneys, go into Harvard Law. I think one student last year just got accepted to Yale, which was really exciting. And then we're actually getting these colleges to come out here and, represent, and then they're recruiting from us, which is fantastic to see. We also have a club that we have for American Indian Criminal Justice Program where our students get to go and compete against other criminal justice programs across the country. And that's not just TCU schools, that's going to be any criminal justice program. So, and currently every year that we've gone and competed, we've only been in the organization for 2 years now, but we've come back with at least 3 to 6 medals every time, which is fantastic. Criminal justice, like I said, is probably our biggest one that we're seeing. Gaming, and most of our students, I always have to clarify that that's not going to be video gaming, that it's going to be casino gaming and hospitality. We actually just signed an articulation agreement with UNLV, so University of Las Vegas. So our students can go there and graduate and attend and try to get their bachelor's degree. Native American Studies is going to be a good one. So we have 3 different specializations that you can go into from there. Natural resources is a fun one, especially a lot of our students come here and they're not really sure what they want to do. And then they go outside and work in those gardens and they really love those classes. Students that really have no clue or like myself have ADHD really kind of love that hands-on approach of being able to go and actually work in the garden and see what they're doing and actually get products out. And what we do with the products that we get, so we actually grow our own vegetables on campus and we provide it to our cafe on campus. So our students get the first and freshest fruit, and then everything else that's extra goes to our local elders here in the community. So everything else goes to them. And then if we have anything after that, we give it to our local homeless shelter here in Old Mulkey. Like I said, tribal services is the degree program I graduated with. I graduated with administrative services and then loved it. And then general studies, we have that there. A lot of our students will go there and just get their basics out of the way, and then transfer off to any other institution. That's a good one for a lot of students that are unsure of where they want to go to school or if they want to go to school. We get a lot of students here that just say, hey, I was told I need to go to college, but I'm not sure what I want to do. And we get them started in there. That one's going to get your basic, your math, your science, your English, all your core classes out of the way. And then you can either start choosing different elective classes. So if you start feeling like you want to do some natural resources, you can either transfer into one of those degrees or you can kind of pick and choose. It's actually a best option. So if we actually don't offer a degree that you want, so a lot of students want to either go into engineering, nursing is one we see a lot, teaching. So most of those are going to be 4-year degree programs. So what we do is we have students go through and get their general studies degree, and they get all their core classes that they need, and then they pick and choose what courses that they need for their 4-year degree program that they're planning on going to. And we will line up all the classes for it so you can get as much benefit as you can before you leave here. We always want our students to graduate with us, but I always tell our students, use us whenever you can. If you need to come and get a couple credits with us and then transfer out to another 4-year institution to go ahead and start your career path, do that. We also offer 4 certificates. Like I said, everything that we offer is currently in person. You actually have to be on campus. Besides our Muscogee language certificate, or Muscogee language certificate. You can learn the Muscogee language from the beginning courses, from our alphabet, all the way from intermediate, conversational, and reading and writing. And we actually just offered the Muscogee language teaching certificate. So now we're actually trying to create Muscogee language certificates, speakers to go out and teach it to their community members and know that they're going to be representative. We want to create these speakers and these teachers to go out and go through our K through 12 system and know that they're being taught through our regulated through our. Sorry, I'm getting real thirsty. So regulated through our institution. So a cost of attendance, like I said, it's going to be $146.50 a credit hour. We do offer dorm costs here on campus. So typically with our meal plan, if you are looking at living on campus, it's probably going to be around that estimated cost down there at the bottom, about $8,500 a semester. Typically, most of our students typically leave here debt free. A lot of our students will come in here and use Oklahoma's Promise, FAFSA if they have it, help from their tribe, and then that tuition waiver takes out a big chunk. That tuition waiver pretty much covers the on-campus housing fee if you wanted to live on campus. And then books, we actually provide your books here on campus, so you don't have to go out and search them. When you come in and get your class schedule, you come into our bookstore and we give you the books. Those automatically go to the cost to your Bursar account, so you will not see that cost. And hopefully scholarships, internships, or payments throughout the semester, we'll get that taken care of. We encourage our students to come through all our scholarship writing workshops so they can maximize as much money as they can. Because money is sitting out there for you guys. Make sure you guys are applying for it. So this is a sky view of our campus. You can kind of see a little bit of our dorms down here and 2 of our main buildings. You can actually tour our campus. If you ever wanted to come in person, we have our tour schedule over here. Fridays are the best day because I haven't told you guys this yet, but we only go to class Monday through Thursday, meaning our students always get a 3-day weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they get for themselves. Now, that being said, we always have Friday available open for students to come in and get help. We are still completely open on Fridays, so students can come in and use all our services from our learning center, our library, or any of us here in our student success center. So come in and schedule a tour. So these tour dates, these are just to help kind of corral our different people in here, since we do get a lot of different tours and requests over here. But we are kind of remotely located. Like I said, we're in Muscogee, Oklahoma, so we're a little bit 45 minutes from Tulsa. So we're kind of remote. So I actually just about a year ago got this virtual tour uploaded. So if you use that QR code, or if you go to cmn.edu/tour, you can actually check out my college. I'm going to see if I can drag this over real quick and show you a quick view of it. So this is what the view would look like. It's going to be like a 3D Google Street View. And you can see our campus. If you didn't know, this is the college that the reservation dogs went to. They went right through this, right out this door right here and right across this lobby and right into where my office is right in here. So like I said, students can come through here. You can check out everywhere in our campus. You can go through everything. You can check out our greenhouse. You can check out our STEM building. And I am happy to announce I am one of the esports coach here on campus. And we do offer esports on here. We are part of the NJCAAE, so the National Junior College Association for esports. So we compete against in I think it's like 25 different titles that we can compete in. But this is our lecture hall. As you can see right now, we have it set up just for gaming. But we can do movie nights in here. We can do keynote speakings. We can do we've recently just had some comedy nights. I just had Mark Yoffke come in here and do a comedy show. We want to use this as a place to go ahead and get our students prepared to engage with the community. Um, you can go down and check out our student housing. Beautiful little triangle dorms, 4 people to a unit, and we'll go in more into the housing, but I can actually show you what the units look like. You can scroll around, and if I'm going too fast, you can actually, like I said, go to this tour on your own, cmn.edu/tour. This is a gentleman's dorm, as you can see when we get in here. They decorate it all they want. So it's 2 people to a unit, 2 people to a room, I'm sorry, 4 people to a unit with a bathroom on each side. So you have 2 gentlemen in here and then their bathroom. Oh, they both have their own closet and both have their own mini fridges. We have the bathroom. And then in the back half, we have an identical, this one that is not as decorated, but as you can see, it just kind of showcases what the rooms are going to look like, and then an additional bathroom as well. Students are responsible for maintaining their own shower curtains, toilet paper, hygiene products, and then also making sure they clean. But we do provide cleaning products for the students. Now, students do have to move out during breaks and everything like that. So we encourage students to move in, but also make sure that they bring in just enough where they can actually move out at the end of the semester. We've had students in the past where they've not returned and they've ruined it for other people. So now students have to move out completely at the end of the semesters. We do have our greenhouses. We have different gardens you can check out. And that's probably it I'm going to show you on that. I'll let you guys explore it more on your own. But yeah, it's always fun. This is, like I said, our student housing. This is actually an older picture right before we expanded this. We actually knocked this area out right here, and it is now our laundry room. And I'm proud to say it's now free to our students. It used to be coin operated. It's free to our students, and it is now commercial size washer and dryers. So you can wash your bedding, you can wash your clothing, you can wash everything right there. And we provide a health shelf and hygiene shelf on campus. So our students can come in there, and if they need to, we provide them with all the laundry soap, body wash, shampoo, conditioner, anything that they need to make sure that they're not stressed out at school. So like I said, it's $150 dorm deposit just to hold your dorm in there. If you are out of state, if you're from a federally recognized tribe, you get priority. Muscogee citizens out get priority, then federally recognized get farther out, and then we go closer. But we always give Muscogee citizens priority first. But I always we fill up quick. We're actually looking at building 4 more units here in the next year, and then we're laying the groundwork for a traditional 2-story dorm, so we can actually triple the size of our dorms. I believe they said the new dorm will hold up to 174 people, I believe. So I'm really excited for that. We also have a core value cafe where our students can come get up to 3 meals a day. We have a laundry facility, Turtle Lodge, where students can come and hang out. And then we have 24-hour security on campus. So, and our housing manager actually lives on campus down here. So students always have someone on campus that they can come and check into. We have a natural resources extensions program, so students can come in here and learn and teach about our natural resources. So they do different things. They started their own podcast called Chewing the Cud. You can listen to that anywhere you listen to podcasts. But they do environmental science club. They go out and do forage testing. They go out and grab different tests. One of their big things that they've been doing is going out and harvesting Yopon tea, which is one of the only caffeinated teas beverages in America. So it was a lot of fun learning about all that and taking the students out there and on those trips to learn how to harvest it correctly and then the respect the land out there. They spent the night out there over that trip and it was really fun. I did not stay out there. It was a little bit too cold for me. But we have a YouTube series. They have workshops that you can come into, and you don't have to be a student to come to these workshops. They're limited, but if you see us on Facebook, sign up for them and come in person, and you can check out any of these. We have climate change. We do seed banking. We have one coming up in December that's going to be beekeeping 101. So, like I said, fun fact: we're part of esports. We're one of the first TCUs to actually have our esports team. We're part of the NJCAA, and we're one of the founders of the TCU League that's actually going to be competing at AHEC this year. You can check out all the different game titles that we can compete in. We compete in Apex, college football, Fortnite, Mario Kart, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch 2, Rainbow Six, Street Fighter, and then I'm happy to say right now, Tekken 8. We actually have a student here that's undefeated. He actually just won the regional tournament, and we're going to nationals this next week. So hopefully he's going through. He's undefeated, so I'm hoping he's going to go ahead and keep sweeping this tournament. So if we end up having that at AHEC, you guys better watch out. So I want you guys to stay connected with me. Like I said, I'm Thomas Berryhill. I'm a CMN alumni. I'm a CMN recruiter, College of the Muscogee Nation, CMN, and the esports coach here. I also do the archery coach for AHEC. So you'll see me at AHEC shooting archery. But if you ever want to join our quick leads and answer a couple questions, and I will go ahead and keep you updated on all our deadlines, our scholarship updates, or anything like there. And if you have any questions about our administration page and how to apply and all the requirements, I also have the QR code there. If you go to our cmn.edu page, it's all right there, right at the top. If you would make it real easy for you to find, it says apply now right at the top, and it'll go through a 1 through, I believe, 9 guide, a step guide of how to apply. And step 6 is housing. So if you don't want to do housing, you just skip it. We also have an app. So if you ever want to, anywhere you go and download your Apple Store or Google Play, College of the Muscogee Nation, just search it from there. We're actually going to be doing an overhaul on the app soon. You're not going to have to re-download or anything. It's just going to automatically happen. But it's going to give you more access and give us more capabilities to post. But follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, all those different stuff. Like I said, we're always doing stuff on campus. And I do have one video I wanted to show before we go. Everyone was talking about AHEC. So, that's our campus. That's our lobby.
Go to college. We all go.
If the Res Dogs can go to college, you guys can go to college. Okay, and like I said, all that can be found on our YouTube. If you just go to College of the Muscogee Nation on there, it has a good overview of the AHEC student conference, and I will put it in the chat for you guys to check out. But it shows you about the hand games competition, the archery, the t-shirt exchange. It makes you feel like you're there, which is really fun. And then we also have our commercial. So you can follow us. We were actually featured on The Viewpoint with Dennis Quaid. So they made a commercial for us, so it was really exciting for that. I did see a bunch of stuff pop up, so I'm guessing there was a few questions.
Yeah, I think there was one question who might have been interested in who to contact regarding like the gaming course or really any course.
So you can always contact, let me go back to my presentation. You can contact myself. My email is just tberryhill@cmn.edu, and I can get you in contact with anyone that we have. I also have, if you go to our website, if you go to our programs, it also has a list of all our program advisors. So like our gaming program advisor is going to be Shonday McIntosh. And the good thing about her, she actually works as an ECM on at River Spirit Casino here, which is our big casino. So she actually what she teaches and she goes out and learns it and applies it straight to our students. So our students get like real life knowledge every time that she comes in, which is fantastic.
Awesome. That was all really great. CMN is a great school and famous for res dogs too. So yeah, thank you very much, Thomas, for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, see you at AHEC. Awesome. Now we have one more TCU that will be doing a presentation. So we'll be hearing from next Little Bighorn College. So I will go ahead and pass the mic to Patricia. Thank you, Patricia, for joining us.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Patricia Whiteman, Dean of Students at Little Bighorn College. Okay, so we're Little Bighorn College, and we are on the Crow Indian Reservation in Crow Agency, Montana. So we are one of 7 tribal colleges here. We have 7 reservations, and they all have a tribal college here in Montana. Okay. Our commitment is to the mission of the college, which we will look at later, and its existence in our Crow Indian community. And we strive to meet the standards of our students and community for education and training, um, to meet the needs of the community and to preserve and protect the Crow culture and language. So we have about a 55% tribal members that speak the language, so it's still very active here. And we participate, we're big participants in the culture, so we'll talk about that later. And then we are here to serve each student who comes through the door. So on this end, we have a little cost of attendance here. So these are some of the things that we might give out at career fairs and when we do school visits. So the cost here is the cost of 1 credit is $110. But as you see, if you take a full load up to 18 credits, that you have a charge of 1,300 plus the registration fees, the activity fees, the building fees, etc. If you're an art student, you have an art lab fee. And then if you're over 18 credits, we ask for a credit overload and charge. So then that'll be another like $300 to them. So those are very affordable. It hasn't gone up in the last few years. And so here's another little thing, the mission statement. We are a 1974 land grant institution. And so with that, we get a lot of, we're eligible for a lot more services, and we're eligible for a lot more grants and things about that. And then these are a little flyer that we hand out too from our community outreach coordinator. She put this together, so it's really nice. And then the mission statement, of course, is there again. So the college is dedicated to the professional, vocational, and personal development of individual students for their advancement in higher education. And then the quote down here on this little medallion is from one of our former board members. The mountains are the heart of the crow, the rivers are the blood of the crow, and the college is the mind of the crow. So we really like that. We really use that because if you've ever been to Montana, you'll see the mountains, the rivers, and then our beautiful campus that we have in the middle of the tribal headquarters here, which is Crow Agency. So then we just have the vision here. And then this is a little picture of a graduation. So we have it in our very nice health and wellness center. So it's kind of a small picture. And then we'll get into our admissions here, and we'll go into that a little later also. So some of the programs that we have here is that we have 6 Associate of Arts degrees. We have 5 Associate of Science degrees. We have 1 Associate of Applied Science, and we do have a business program that we have a pilot for this semester. So it's a business degree for those that don't want to go on to a 4-year degree and get right into the workforce. And then we offer 1-year certificates. So in business, we have the accounting assistant, we have a tribal management certificate, we have a certificate in early childhood education, we have an IT certificate, office assistant, and then our highway construction, which is also our CDL program, is one of our best training programs. So students can get in and then they get out and then they get a job. So our graduation rate on that program, it's a limited enrollment. So our graduation rate is usually about 85 to 90% all the time. And then we have a building trades program. So we have carpentry courses available to students, which goes with HVAC. And then next semester, we're going to bring in hopefully an electrical program. So we're trying to get good things going for our students and the needs of our community, actually. Some of the students work with our tribal housing and other little businesses that we have around the reservation. So the student support services that we have, just some of them. We have the Student Success Center, which is modeled after the TRIO program because we know we don't have a TRIO grant this year. We haven't for a while. So the disability students can get mentorship and tutoring, and special services are available to them, like testing accommodations, homework help, just different things that they need. We do go by if they're willing, 504 or an IEP, if they had that in school, we can honor those accommodations. For that help, mentors are last year students, usually about ready to graduate with over 30 credits and a GPA over 3.0. Tutors are available who are also LBHC students with a GPA over 3.0. So we have students like that. And then TAs, which are technical assistants, are placed in different departments. And those students also have to have a 2.0 or better. Some of our student organizations that are active are the Indian Club, which is really active and coordinates our annual powwow, usually around graduation time, and other traditional activities and events. So hand games are really big on our reservation. So we'll have some of those sometimes, and other events, maybe singing, drum making, things like that. American Indian Business Leaders has been really active. And of course, American Indian Higher Education Consortium. We take students pretty much every year. And so we're getting excited about that. Tonight, there's a bingo going on in the next room, and so they can raise funds for that. The Range Club, which is associated with the agriculture program, they have students that they have come in, and with another USDA grant that we got last year, we were able to purchase, we actually purchased a ranch from a non-Indian who was willing to sell it to the college. And so now they're working on acquiring farm equipment, putting in a garden, fixing the corrals up. There is a house on the ranch. And so we have that for the trades program to help on the job training for them to kind of incorporate that, as it needs a new furnace, it might need new siding. They might be able to put new windows in there. So we're really excited and um, getting getting that all put together for the whole community, actually. The student government is really active, so everybody, the students are very, there's a lot of events for students here all the time. One thing that I wanted to show you all was the Crow Studies degree, which is very unique to who we are. And this is designed for students to examine the historical, political, economic, artistic, linguistic, and social components of Crow Indian culture. So we do have some Crow study courses. So they are numbered for Crow Studies, which is CS, and we do have 3 Crow language courses. So we have Crow Language 1, Crow Language 2, we have Conversational Crow is the third sequence of that. So they have enough opportunity to learn the Crow language, learn to write in it, and things like that. And then when they transfer to a 4-year college, those are considered foreign language credits. So also with that, they learn traditional Crow practices, which the society looks at as the roles of each person in the Crow tribe that comes to participating in Crow traditional activities, which we teach teepee raising. We make that fun. We have races. They out on the ranch, they constructed the sweat lodge, so they go in every week. Students learn about that tradition. The Tobacco Society is kind of getting back into the swing of things because it hasn't been practiced so much in the past years. And then the one big thing that we really do here on the Crow Reservation is we go by the clan system. So we teach the students, maybe they don't know which clan they belong to, so we kind of get their family information and then we can go from there and tell them who they are. And then if we have non-Indians, we can adopt them into a specific clan. And then from there, we might have competitions for clans on clans if we have a hand game or the teepee raising competition. So we make it fun for the students here. And then this is a nice new, our mascot is the ram. So our community outreach coordinator, she created this very nice flyer and it's a big poster size. So sorry for the little reflections on everything, but this is what we hand out for recruiting purposes. So all of the schools in the area will get these. And then if we have extra, we will take them and give them out to the staff in the different offices here on campus. But yeah, it's a really great thing. So we got this idea from another college. I think it was Eastern Washington University. So they had a nice eagle on there. So we thought our community outreach coordinator said we could probably do that with the RAM, and she made it happen. So it's very nice. And so the website is on here. And then to the right, we have all of the information. This is on the back side of the poster. So we have the mission statement on there. And then, of course, the RAM symbol up here. And then we have the map of where it could be, and then there's a QR code which takes you to the website. And then we have the separate buildings here. So we have the building under the reservation sign, that's our Driftwood Lodges building where all of our classes are held. The one below that, this is the cultural center where we kind of gather for community events. And there's some nice pictures in there. Below that here, we have the Health and Wellness Center. It's the gym. And so we have a weight room, a sauna in each locker room. And of course, the nice gym, if you've ever been here competing with basketball. SKC will be here this weekend for the Jamboree for basketball. And then the bottom picture is our administration and our library. And then to the right of that, we have a last year's graduation. We have a nice arbor in the middle. So that's what you see right there. We do activities out there, and this past fall we had some nice dancing out there. And then our original building right there on the bottom is years ago, we started with just that one building, and 30 years ago or so, this is where I went to school, and it was just one building. And so now we've expanded through the years, so we are getting a little more better, but the crow designs and the colors are throughout the campus, so you'll see that. And of course, the admissions requirement are on there. So this is just a close-up of that. So they have to have a high school diploma, GED, or high set certificate. And with that being said, we do have a GED and high set instructor on campus. So if that credential isn't available, the students can come in and take their high set or take classes towards their high set. And then you have to have the application for admission, which on the QR code, you could get that on there and then fill it out. So we have that electronic application, or we notice with our older students that want to come in and maybe take a class or two, we have the hard copy because sometimes they aren't able to do it electronically. Official transcripts for other higher education institutes for the transfer students. We have to have the declaration of major form. We will take a CIB, tribal ID, or proof of descendancy. And with that, we are an open campus, so we do have other people who are not native come on and take classes with us. So we are an open campus. We're open enrollment. We need their immunizations. We have a alcohol and drug policy, so they'll sign that. And then copy of social security card for other purposes. And times I see that during financial aid times, we have to kind of make sure the students are properly identified. And then we do have them take the AccuPlacer test for placement in the right math and English classes. And then we have the website down here, and then admissions and registrar's numbers. So, and then this little one on the side here is just another card that we have to use for recruitment purposes. So, we have a great graphic design here. So then here are the classes that we have offered. And we have, like I said, we have these Associate of Arts degrees. So we have a business degree, we have the Crow Studies. Education has two options. So we have the elementary ed and the early childhood. The Associate of Human Services degrees have options of psychology or addiction studies. The liberal arts is just general courses. The direct individualized studies, well, that's a little unique for us because when a student has over so many credits, and we can go through and audit their transcript and their courses. And if they have a majority of their classes in business or Crow Studies or math or whatever the subject discipline may be, we can give them an associate's degree based on the credits they have fulfilled in the major. It might not all be transferable, but they're happy with it just to kind of get out and then get on to another institution or to get into the workforce. We have math. With that, we have pre-engineering also, and then health, we have pre-nursing and pre-med options. In science of in biology, we have some I can't think of the other courses right now. That's not in front of me, but Associate of Science and Natural Resources. We have also Tribal Natural Resources under that. So that's a little bit different with more Crow Studies courses. So if they wanted to go work at BIA, maybe in land services or something like that, they could go right into the workforce with all of that. And then we have an Associate of Science in Agriculture, and that seems to be becoming a more popular one at this time. And then, of course, our 1-year certificates. And like I said, our highway construction is one of the bigger ones. And that's because they can get unemployed, get employed right out of training. And so that seems to be one of our successful programs. And then the building trades is starting to be in. This is the second year we've offered that. And so what we're working on now is we have been working with the Montana University system to ensure transferability when students transfer to an in-state four-year college or university. So our closest four-year university would be in Billings, Montana. So that would be Montana State University Billings. So a lot of our business students go there. Some of our education students go there. But if you're going into nursing, MSU Bozeman is a popular one, and then MSU Northern, we have students go there sometimes. So it's just usually they try to stay in state. And so we're working on that. The largest challenge is the acceptance of our cultural specific courses into other colleges, like I said before, specifically our Crow Studies courses. We have Crow Studies courses in maybe Crow Indian art, where you learn the history of beadwork and the art that we've done over the years. And there's a horse in Crow Indian culture because the horse is so popular here with our people. So we have that course under Crow Studies. So one of the challenges we see is keeping students in school. I think I hear that from a lot of tribal colleges, and helping them succeed, which leads to graduation. So we're doing that. We're doing that. We're always looking at that, and it's after midterm now, so we see students kind of dropping off the radar. So we did hire a retention coordinator this year, a new position. So he's going to be reaching out to these students and kind of saying, what's going on? What's happening? How come you're not coming to school anymore? So then that leads me into the tracking of the students on a monthly basis to ensure attendance and progress. Checking the students' progresses through the plan of study, because advisors are the faculty members, and so they're kind of busy teaching classes, so we kind of give them that extra support. Students participate in the American Indian College Fund programs because there's not just the scholarships, as you all know, and also the scholarship opportunities. And then our athletics program includes the men's and women's basketball, and that'll be starting tomorrow. Like I said, SKC is going to be visiting, so we're excited about that. And then the other thing that we have here is we have the library. So the library has a very good collection of history on the Crow Indians, and we have an archives actually housed there, kind of like a museum. And so they have built a very good website, and I am going to show you that. So the website is lbhc-mukurtu.org. So if you can see it up here, but as you can see, we have a lot of nice pictures that they have in their collection, and every day they're doing more things, especially with languages. They have Native Crow speakers come in and they record them speaking the language. And so we kind of put these into some of the classes that we do with some of the Crow history stuff. So it's really neat. So we have these pictures here, and they're by category. So if you go into Crow Fair, and then the other thing that we have is the library offers cultural enrichment courses every week. And so those are recorded and those are housed here also. So if somebody, we have a lot of people like in the public schools who might want to teach their kids something, and they can come on here and they can find some of the resources that we have. So some of these things are really relevant to what we're doing. So the Crow hymns, these are mostly Christian theme songs that have been adopted into Crow language and music. The daytime ceremony dance, um, it's just very anything you want to know about Crow history. Like here's another clan system, so he'll explain the clan system. Um, and then the tobacco seeds for the tobacco dance, and that's coming back, like I said. So a lot of these things, we were told growing up that you don't record these tobacco dance songs because they're very sacred, but we've learned that if you don't record them, we have they're lost. And within my own family, we do have the recordings, and that's how we kind of keep them going. If you've all known a baby who has colic, we have colic doctory here, and he'll explain how to do that. So in our culture, you have to have the right to have that to work on a baby. And so it's very interesting if you want to look at it, the history of Crow Indian beadwork. So we have so much stuff on here. So if you're interested, the link is in the presentation. And our one big thing are hand games. So sometimes a coworker, I might get on there, I'll put my kids on here. So this last year we had in the rain because we had it outside. So it's very interesting. So we could play these tapes over and over, and then we can learn these songs. So with that being said, is there any questions?
Yeah, it looks like there's one. Are most classes in person and on campus?
Um, we have we have half of them um o- online and then in class in person. So that happened because of COVID. So we found that we kind of had a lot of interest in the online, and especially the newer students who are coming out of high school. And so we offer both. Some are completely online and some are hybrid. So and then we have asynchronous and synchronous. So if that was wanted, we could probably, it's up to the instructor to accommodate you. So yeah, we find that very popular. And then some of the kids, like for math and stuff, they just want to have it in person so they can find that. And then our science program is very good with their labs are in person and things like that. So yeah, whatever we need to accommodate the student for their success, that's what we try to do here.
That's good to hear. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Patricia.
You're welcome. Thank you all for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. We are going to move forward with our student panelists. So we're going to dedicate the next like 5, 6 minutes, 7. We'll just see how many questions we can get through with our student panelists. We have 3 students here, Elena, Joseph, and Jasmine. And so I will be going through a list of questions. Good afternoon, you 3. I'm so happy to see you and happy that you were able to make it today. Yeah, so the next about 15 minutes or so we'll dedicate to a few questions that we have, and I'll go straight down the line of Elena will answer, Joseph, and then Jasmine. So thank you all for joining us. We'll start with number 1. So just please introduce yourself, share which TCU you attended or currently attend, your major, and where you're from.
Hi, my name's Elena Rodriguez. I grew up in Newtown, North Dakota on the Fort Berthold Reservation. I'm a member of the Mandan Hidatsa Rickaron Nation, and I'm an alumni of Sitting Bull College. I received both my associate's and bachelor's in environmental science at SBC, and I currently attend the University of North Dakota, where I'm pursuing my master's of science in geological engineering. And I think I answered all the questions. Going on to the next one.
Thank you, Elena. Joseph?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Joseph Morales, an enrolled member of the Tanatam Nation from Southern Arizona. I am an alumni to Tanatam Community College, where I earned my Associate of Arts in Liberal Arts. I am now at Arizona State University, pursuing a bachelor's degree of English. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Jasmine?
What's up, everybody? My name is Jasmine Niosh. I am an enrolled member of the Menominee Nation in North Central Wisconsin. I received both my associate's degree in natural resources as well as my public administration degree from College of Menominee Nation, where I graduated in 2022. I'm currently a third-year law student at the University of Michigan Law School, as well as a graduate student getting my master's in science and environmental justice at the School for Environment and Sustainability.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. So for these next few questions, I'll put them in the chat for our panelists. We'll start with this first one. That's what inspired you to choose a tribal college or university, and what made it feel like the right fit for you?
I can go super quickly. So I'm a mom of two boys, and I'm a young mom at that. And I think what made me choose SBC was the community that's there. You know, we're able to have daycare services that my sons were able to go to and learn not only about our culture and things like that, but it also gave me peace of mind. Moreover, when you're attending classes, there were times where, I had to bring my sons with me to class or to work. I also worked at the college too. So I think that was my main reason for choosing SBC. In addition, I think it really laid the foundation for me to be able to succeed in a mainstream university as well. But yeah, I think mainly that the fact that TCUs are rooted in community was the main factor for me.
To add to what Elena said, that was the reason why I chose to attend TOCC, was because it was a part of my own nation and allowed me to reconnect with my culture and my language. And again, it made me develop skills for when I transferred to a mainstream university, that I knew that I had a lot of things developed, and I had a community that I could reach out to even post-graduation.
So for me, it was a little bit different. I I tried to go to like a regular university, like a regular four-year university, and then an art college, and didn't really feel like that was for me. So after working for a few years, I decided that what I actually wanted to do was go back and do environmental work. And Menominee is sort of known for our forestry program, so it just was kind of a almost like a coincidence that like the most logical and best place for me to learn the things I needed to learn were at College of Menominee Nation. I initially went planning to transfer after I got my associates in 2 years, and the thing that actually ended up making me stay was just like obviously like the community was amazing, and I could talk a little bit more about that later, but just some of the sheer amount of opportunities that were available. Lorenzo talked a little bit about some of them earlier, but um, being able to travel and work on my own research and get to meet people that I otherwise never would have been able to meet, on top of all the spiritual fulfillment of being closer to home, the academic and professional opportunities were just unreal. They were amazing. And I think that's what really kept me there.
Thank you all for sharing. Um, this next question can just be a free-for-all, so whoever would like to answer. How would you describe the academic and cultural experience at your TCU, and what makes it unique?
We can go if we want to switch up the order a little bit. I guess like in one word, I would say supportive. It was honestly the best possible environment for me. I don't even think I really fully appreciated it until after I graduated, but at most colleges or universities, you're going to be learning things in a particularly Western way, in a particularly Western value system. And even at schools that do prioritize diversity and other way of knowing, you're not really going to have that same experience of like getting to think about all the stuff that you would learn in the context of, being in an indigenous community, of like our own worldviews, our own values, and our own experiences. Um, there's a lot that can be gained from being around people who are not like you, but there's also something so valuable about not having to explain things like intergenerational trauma or colonization or, even just like native humor, honestly. Um, you can just kind of like say what you need to say and process things together and um, in an environment where people just kind of get it. And that made me, I think, like not only a much stronger academic and much stronger like intellectual, like in being able to handle some of the things like when I did end up going to a mainstream university, but I think it also made me a much stronger person. Um, and I don't think I would have grown the way that I did without the support and nurturing um, of being at a TCU.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Jasmine. As we cut down a little bit closer to time, I'll probably be directing the next few questions to each people on our panelists. So I'll put this one in the chat. So for Joseph, what challenges did you face transitioning into college, and how did your TCU support you through them?
Yeah, so the challenges I faced mainly came when I was transitioning from TCU to a mainstream university. That was the big challenge I faced because I didn't really know where to go. And I spent a whole like 2 years developing connections, and then I got to find kind of a new staff. But they're super helpful in being supportive. I mean, some of my advisors even wanted to go with me to do campus tours at these big mainstream universities. So that was a challenge I had to get through, but the TCU faculty at TOCC was always there as soon as I sent an email, message, whatever the case may be, even academically. I mean, whatever question you had, they were there to support me and help me and guide me, and I really appreciate them for that.
Awesome. And then for Elena, in what ways has attending a TCU shaped your identity, goals, or sense of community?
Oh, I love this question. So with the limited amount of time, there's something that I definitely wanted to get across to everybody. No matter what phase you are in your academic career, and I'm assuming many are starting to think about going to a TCU. And I think there is still this stigma when you talk about attending a TCU. A lot of people may question whether it's as valuable as mainstream universities. And I know that there have been plenty of times where I've had opportunities where I'm either the only Native American woman in the room or I'm the only student who attended a TCU in the room. And while that used to, discourage me a little bit, um, after a while, I started to realize the value in that. And while I may be sitting amongst people who have been going to, Ivy League universities, or they're coming from these really large universities where there's thousands, 20,000, 60,000 students, and I have to remind myself, although they may be coming from this kind of background, academic background, I still got here going to a TCU because we are just as valuable as mainstream colleges, if not more, which I might be biased because I am an alumni of SBC, but yeah, it's definitely shaped my identity in every way possible. It's given me the confidence, as I mentioned before, it's given me the foundation to even succeed in the mainstream university that I'm now attending. So yeah, I love TCU so much, and I'm just really happy to be here because I love talking about my TCU any chance I get. So thank you, Erin.
Thank you, Elena. To save a bit on time, we'll skip to our last question for each of you to answer. So what advice would you give to high school students and their families who are considering a TCU? We can start with Elena, if that's okay with you.
Okay, yeah. I guess just to, piggyback off of what I was already saying, something I do love to, I guess you could say, people might even call it preach to everybody. I am always talking about scholarships all the time. When you attend a TCU, I feel like there are many who offer, even just in their own communities, they offer their own scholarships that you can apply for. And then we have obviously American Indian College Fund, and there's just so many. So I feel like if you are looking at those, next steps, to really look into scholarships, because that's definitely supported me throughout this entire time. As I mentioned, I have two boys, so it's really difficult for me, to balance everything out with work, school, and everything all in between. And those scholarships really do help. And it's something to really look into, and you might not get them the first few times, but you just got to hone those skills. And I will say, if you are considering whatever college you're going into, definitely start looking into scholarships and don't be intimidated by them at all.
Thank you, Elena. And maybe Jasmine next.
Sure. So one thing that I wish that someone had told me when I was in this position and like looking at colleges is that like it's normal to not know what you want to do with the rest of your life when you're like 16 or 17 years old. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at 20. And that's perfectly normal, but it is on you to kind of like figure that out. Like you can't like just kind of sit around and like wait for the answers to come to you. Like college is kind of like what that's for these days. And any college that you go to is going to be great. Like, get higher, like higher education is perfect. Like, I'm not saying like if you don't want to go to TCU, don't go. But if you're still figuring it out, you're going to be spending like tens of thousands of dollars trying to figure it out at like some of these smaller, like pricier universities, depending what your scholarship situation is. And that is like very expensive learning. So, like, TCUs are great if you know what you want to do. They are especially great if you don't know what you want to do because they're just more cost effective. They're more culturally sensitive, and a lot of times they're from people who have a little bit more like working experience and know a little bit more about like how these things are actually going to impact your community and the people that you care about. So that's definitely something to consider as you're looking at college.
One thing I would share as a piece of advice is do a little bit of research around these TCUs. There is definitely a lot of options out there. You could, narrow down your choices from 10 to 5 to the one that you finally think is best for you. Each TCU offers different programs. Some are 2-year institutions, some are 4-year institutions. So definitely explore. Don't be so hard on yourself to pick one college or TCU. Explore, research, look what's out there. And in that, you'll find the best opportunity for you and your interests.
All great advice. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed hearing each of your responses and really appreciate you all staying on a little bit after 7. I know that we went over a little over time, so thank you so much for hanging with us. And to our panelists, you are all doing great, and I appreciate you for lending words of advice and encouragement. And it will definitely go a long way for those who are interested in tribal colleges and universities. Thank you so much, Elena, Jasmine, and Joseph, for being here today. Again, thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope that you all walked away with something really useful that you can take and really think about or share with others as well. You are now the expert in what you know from this week or today's session, so definitely take that with you and share with your friends and family. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Have a good night.